Here we are at the yard, guys. We have this dry weather continues. I am digging it. Where I'm walking is just hard as a rock because it is rock. And I'm just going to give you a quick tour of the wood yard where we are. And you know, I was looking at this load of logs, guys, and that is 5 triaxle load of logs. And in a perfect world, if I got 6 cords each off of those 5 loads, 6 times 5, that is what? 30, right? Cords of logs. And that's assuming that there's not a lot of waste and the truck was fully loaded. So if there are 30 cords of logs loading here, this is where if I let my mind wander, I can really get myself down, man, because my one restaurant goes through 35 to 40 cords a year. So this is one restaurant for me. And when I think of things like that, man, I get you think, how am I ever going to get this done? Because then that's just 1 year. Then I got to do it again and again and again. And that's just one restaurant. Then you think of all the other restaurants that I have, and then you think of residential. I think it's important that I not let my mind wander. And I think that was a lesson that I had learned when I was dealing with Dad, when I had taken that step away from my career to take care of him. Firewood was just a side hustle for me. I really wasn't deep into things. I wasn't taking it that serious, but just something great happened while all of that was going on. When you're dealing with an aging loved one, you take it day by day, and that's all that seemed to matter. I didn't look too far down the road, and then every day with Firewood, I just went after it for that day. And the next thing I know, when you're bringing home a cord of wood every day, because I was buying it then, I had a bunch of firewood. I'm in much better shape. Well, I think that is the case, and that is the mentality that I still have to keep with the firewood company going forward. Looking at this big load of logs and thinking, my gosh, that's just one restaurant. How am I ever going to do this? I think the way I do it is I take it day by day. I hit the ground running, I keep my head down, and I just start making firewood and stacking it and selling it, And I think that is a good recipe for success. I don't know about the mind of a firewood delivery service here, but that was the other day I came in here and I looked at those logs and I was like, oh my gosh, what am I getting myself into? But then focus on what you're doing for today and you knock it out. That's all you can do. You come back again tomorrow and you start all over again. I think it's a good prescription for success. Hey, it's worked for me. Let me show you what we got going on, guys. If you recall, the hoop house was damaged significantly in that big windstorm. So the owner and his team took this down. It is in a landfill right now. He did leave the anchors that have been secured into these blocks. So if I ever do want to put in another type of structure here, we'll at least have this going on. So we're going to leave these blocks up, leave this compartment in here. I don't know, we might be able to do something with it, make it like command center or something. We have the shipping container, and this was a big deal for me, guys. They're quite affordable. When you put everything in perspective, like what you pay for a garden shed, serious, these aren't that much more expensive. But it's still, I think it's just because of the size and the fact that it's different. And, these probably aren't appropriate for a lot of applications if you live in a suburban lot. But wow, this is such an easy solution for your storage needs. This is from container 1. And I gotta tell you, this was one of the most easiest purchases I ever made. And you don't know what you're doing if you'd never bought one of these before, and they are with you every step of the way. They made it really easy on me. I think I'm going to have to get some type of a ramp so that I'm not always wrenching on that tractor to get it in here. So that's going to have to be on the list. I was thinking too of like some kind of a magnetic frame to put on here that I can hang my tools on, the PV and the hookaroon, brooms and shovels or whatever, because someone had aptly pointed out that whatever you put in first is going to get buried in here. So I would think probably at least this time of year, the snow removal stuff is going to go all the way to the back. Maybe bring in some shelves to keep some things on. I probably will do my best to keep gasoline, diesel fuel out of here, keep the fumes down. And then at the end of the day, the last thing coming in will be the tractor, and I'll keep that in here and secure. From my risk analysis, the biggest concern, are the machines like my tractor. And, you don't want to get stolen, the whole thing, but I think there's probably, and maybe you guys know, that there's precious items on there that thieves look to, maybe like the exhaust or a catalyst or the battery, all that kind of stuff. So I just sleep better at night knowing that I have a shipping container. It is still not an impenetrable fortress, but it sure does make things a little bit more difficult on a would-be thief. And of course, the shipping container has been nudged into place. The owner's got that real big wheel loader, and he was able just to push this and get it lined up. So this is all pavement in here, believe it or not, guys. So I don't know. I still got to figure out how I'm going to utilize all this land. But if I ever did get an office or an office trailer or a shed, I think it could just be in this general area. Because then I can see a nice panorama of the wood yard. This would be the production area. I think the Eastonmade axis is going to be down here, and the drying yard where the truck is. And here's our ground. It is just hard as a rock. I think this general area, the slag has been driven over so much that it's just a little bit thin right here. And when it was super duper wet, and guys, I'm serious, that was about as wet as it's ever been around here. The tires would make a little bit of a rut, but it still wouldn't sink in. I never once felt like I was going to get stuck in here. I think my days of dealing with mud are over. So I'm going to go with that racetrack idea. So, the workflow is going to come this way. This is a little tight, but the first logs that we're going to be making will be these, and then this starts to open up because I'm going to have the live deck right here. So this is just a 90-degree turn. It's easier on the tractor, it's more efficient, and then the machine, and then the cleaner, and then the trailer will get loaded here, and then it will come down into this area for the drying yard. I still have to get a lock for the gates, and I'll probably go with like a cable lock or multiple cable locks. Regardless of what I get, I'm going to have multiple keys, because I know it will not be long before I come all the way over here and forget my key, and then I got to drive all the way back to the house and get it. Here's your view from the outside. Here are the gates. And this is where the hoop house used to be, and the shipping container's just back there. But the gates are in place. The wall is built. It looks really nice. Want to show you something else. One of our subscribers, Dale, he is down around the Pittsburgh area. He graciously dropped off, I think, 17 of these pallets. They're 9 feet long. And these are just going to work great. So this would be the look here. We're going to stack a row on this side, stack a row on this side. That's just the best way I have seen with stacking firewood on pallets. I used to do real tight like this, and I would get mold, and since I've been stacking them with a big width in the center on top of pallets like that, no problems, and a wood dries out great. It is my understanding that these pallets came from a casket company. So if my sales wind up dying, we all know who that we can blame, right, guys? But I am very, very gracious for this. This really means a lot that Dale would drive all the way up here for us and give these pallets. And I also understand that there's more on the way. There are a couple places down the road that are always setting out pallets. And I've always said you should never buy pallets, because if you look, there's free ones everywhere. When I first got into this, I was buying all these T-posts and 2x4s, and I'm going to set all this up, you know, with precise measurements. And then I thought, why am I doing this? I can put my measurement on the truck when it gets loaded, and that way I don't have to account for shrinkage when the wood's seasoned out and keep adding to that stack to make sure it's staying at 4 foot tall. All that expense on those T-posts, because how many are you going to need when you're selling 100 cords, 200 cords a year? And then all those 2x4s, you know? It's just an added expense that you don't need when you have free pallets if you just know where to look. Here's a close-up of these logs. There's a lot of cherry in here, and I usually sort by species, but I have quit over at my other house just because I need to maximize my time, and they're all being stacked for a particular restaurant, and they can take cherry or maple or whatever. So I think over here we'll start sorting by species, but maybe not at the very beginning. There are some oak logs in here. I think we'll pull the oak out and then just stack everything else, and then start working on this pile. I don't know if I'll ask the driver to move the stuff down and then set the new stuff over here. I don't know. We'll get it all figured out. But that is also getting to the open house, guys, and I want to thank everyone for being patient. I just wanted to make sure that we had all of our ducks in a row. I still have a lot of stuff that I still need to do. Porta-johns, you know, we're getting down to that kind of thing. Losing the hoop house kind of hurts, because that was where I was wanting to like set up some stuff in case we do have bad weather. But here is the deal, guys, for our open house. It is going to be on Saturday, April 29th from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. right here. Everyone is welcome. You know, if you want to bring your gloves, man. If you want to show off a saw, or if you have a splitter, maybe send me an email and we can discuss that. My email is joe@ohiowoodburner.com. So we made a press release, and it's going to be put in the description below, and it's going to have, you can click on it. It has the date, it has the address that a lot of you guys are asking for, and that will have all of the information that you need. If you are looking for camping, we cannot have any overnight camping here, but the Mosquito Lake State Park is just on the other side of the lake, and that is a great campground. Very nice and very affordable too. Hotel stays, guys, look for Niles, Ohio. Niles is just 9 miles south of here, and it's at the Eastwood Mall complex, and it is a very nice area. All the hotels are about the same price, and it's a very nice, all those hotels are nice, all the restaurants down there are nice. It's just a great area, and it's very close to here. We are going to have a food truck, and my fear though, guys, is that the line might get too long. I don't know. If you plan on hanging out for the day, it maybe wouldn't be a bad idea to bring a lunch, bring some beverage, and you know, be mindful of the weather and what type of weather that we might have. I hope it's a beautiful day like today. That would be great. But the food truck will be here, and the owner of the food truck is a customer of mine, so that was important for me that you meet him. I hope I can get him on a video and introduce him here before we all meet down here for the open house. But I hope that we can all meet, we can all be together, and we can all have a great time. All right, guys? I just still can't believe that this is all happening the way that this has come down. I cannot believe this land that I'm on, used to be a very high profile bulk mulch yard and gravel, for landscapers and all. And I can't believe that this is the new home of Ohio Woodburner. Gosh, this is, I still am having, I'm still challenging myself to process everything that's happened. It's just that big of a deal when you think about just a simple guy who just, had a typical corporate existence, and wore his khaki pants dutifully every day to work, and came home at the end of the day, that life circumstances has put me in this position, right? And I think what makes it that much more important is YouTube and you guys. And even though I haven't met most of you in person, I feel like I already know you. All right. If you can make it here, guys, I think we're going to have a blast. If you can't, we'll have a live stream, and we'll do whatever we can to make you feel like you're here. All right. Maybe we'll make you have to wear a pair of gloves in your living room while you watch the video. Okay. All right, guys. I want to thank everyone for watching. Stay tuned for future updates, but check out that link, and I hope everyone has a great day.